Okay, perfect. So we got our recording in progress. I did invite Isabella just to see if she would join, but I'll send her this recording and she can, adjust it. So, all
I
right.
like edit it and
Mm-hmm.
okay.
Yeah, she can edit it. All right. Well, do I introduce the podcast?
I think so.
Okay. Um, okay, I won't say that. Welcome to our podcast, What Would Mom Say? I'm Laura and I'm a mom.
I'm Jessica, and my mom lives with us.
I'm Dominic and I'm a mama's boy.
And we are brother, sister, and cousin. And we are about to share stories lovingly and humorously about our mothers and other mothers in this world, going back to that old statement, what would mom say?
That's right. And for our viewers out there, I'm brothers with Laura and Jessica is our cousin. So that's our connection.
That's our connection.
That's our connection.
Hmm.
But Laura and I share a mom, and Jessica has a mom all to herself that she lives with.
That she lives with.
Lucky
Exactly.
me.
Lucky you.
Lucky
Uh,
me. I mean, I'm going to put this somewhere.
Perfect timing. I think Rosemary's getting scolded.
Rosemary's getting so well. We hope on these episodes we'll introduce you to our moms. They will come
Yes,
on and we will open it up to other moms.
that's
Wait,
right.
turn, moms.
That's
Getting mom's
right.
perspectives. I think today's episode we're going to talk about catchphrases, right?
Yes, today we're talking about catchphrases,
Okay.
the things that our mothers say to us and to other people in the family that will be forever ingrained in our brains.
Yeah, we have some pretty good zingers from our mom. I think my favorite one is "I'm not one of your little friends." So
In what context would she share that in?
she would share that, and if we were getting sassy or talking back, or you know, uh, you know, play talk if it wasn't proper, you know, old English, statements with complete sentences and everything. Talking to my mom, she'd say, "Who do you think you're talking to? I'm not one of your little friends. I'm not one of your friends." So we were supposed to, and not a bad thing, but we were, pardon me, supposed to talk to mom with respect and dignity and integrity. And so when we didn't, it was reminded to us that she is not one of our friends, and we
Hmm.
cannot talk to her as in we were talking to one of our friends. So
Hmm.
a little respect on that name when you before you talk to mom. So
Hmm.
that was a pretty big zinger when we were little kids. And in conjunction with that is, well, if your friends jumped off a bridge, would you?
Yes.
I want to go along to this party, or because so and so's going, or I want to do this thing because my friends are doing it. Well, if your friends are jumping off a bridge, would you?
Yeah.
Was that always followed by this was a favorite in my house? Be a leader, not a follower.
Mm.
No.
No, I don't think so. For us, it was if your friends jumped off a bridge, would you?
Yeah.
I think that was probably our biggest one. And even, how Dominic brought up where she would tell us, I'm not one of your little friends, the way in which we communicated. The first time mom texted me and said, what does LMAO mean? Because somebody put it in a group text. And she goes, well, what does that mean? Should I know what that means? And I said, Mom, it means laugh my ass off. And she's like, why does somebody have to talk like that in a text message?
Mhm. Yeah, modern day technology or modern day slang is something that mom is either offended by or just thinks doesn't belong in the dialect of today.
Yeah.
And Jessica, what about Rose?
Moms were always kind of centered around the outfits. So, um, if I came downstairs and she was like, "Oh, well, that's an interesting outfit," I knew, you know, it was usually followed by, "What do you have on? Why are you wearing that?"
Yeah.
But then the flip side is she would say, "Oh, I love that on you," followed by, Now that's how I like to look. Whenever it was something positive, it
Right.
was, oh, now that's a cute outfit. That's how I like to look. You remind me of me. You dress like me. But
Oh,
if it
Yeah.
was an outfit that she didn't like,
Yeah.
where are you going with that outfit? Where did you get that? That's
mm-hmm,
you.
mm-hmm.
And
Our
I want to have nothing to do
categories
with it.
was usually they usually revolved around the clothes.
Yeah.
Close.
My mom said to me several times, as I approached, if I came over for Christmas or Easter or holiday, it was, well, Dominic, it's Easter or it's Christmas. Why, couldn't you put on something nice? Meanwhile, I
Mm-hmm.
think I'm wearing something nice or appropriate or presentable that, of course, it doesn't align with what she likes. And then if I do, to your point, Jessica, she's like, oh, that's what I used to buy you, if you remember. Or I got you that. Do you remember when I got you that? Or that's what I used to buy you. I told you about those clothes, and that's going to look nice on you. So, it's always like bringing it back to her.
Hmm.
You know,
Or if we were all together and you were wearing an outfit or currently are wearing an outfit that she gives you or something that she gives you, she will find anybody who's interested at the gathering and say, "Doesn't Dominic look nice? Do you like his sweater? I
Yep,
bought it for
I
him.
bought that for him.
I bought that for him."
Yeah. He
Not,
doesn't
I
like the
mean,
things that I get for
insinuating
him.
he can't really dress himself.
Right. He doesn't like the things. Well, the thing is, mom would buy gifts, and I would tell this all the time. I said, you keep buying gifts for me for what you want me to wear, not for what I want to wear or my style. And she gets so frustrated, and she's like, but I know it looks good on you. I raised you. I'm like, yeah, it's true. However, as a 49-year-old man, I have developed my own style. So I don't know if Jessica, if you've had that issue with your mom, but like she gives gifts. I always tell people, I said, if you're gonna buy me clothes, pick a sport, pick a team. I
Yeah.
mean, the easiest person, I mean, Michigan, the Bears, the Cubs, the Hawks, the Bulls, like it's so easy. Not the White Sox. Uh, but it's super easy. And my mom just never kind of jumped on that wagon. She wanted me to wear clothes that she thought were going to be best for me. Like she still has to dress me as, as I'm a kid.
And I think that's what it is. I think they
Yeah.
still, in their mind, they want to dress us the way they want to dress us.
Yeah.
But I mean, you both, if you dig back to your pictures as children,
Oh
Oh
God.
my
and,
God, they're
and
awful.
I'm looking at outfits like, what? Dear God. Like my
Hmm.
personal favorite was as a little girl, she was like, your dresses, just like Shirley Temple, the hem should be where your middle finger ends. Well, it's like a pedophile's dream because that dress is so tiny. And I was like, Mom, why are you putting this on a 4-year-old little girl? Oh, you looked adorable. What did you know?
Right.
And
Or right. Or that was the style back then.
that was the style then,
That was the
right?
Hmm.
And
style then.
so Dom, I think you're absolutely right. They want to dress us as adults as if we were still their little children.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It,
Hmm.
yeah.
She's chiming in back there. I love it. I love that you're
That's just
recording with
perfect for
your
the
mom in the
podcast, right?
room.
Right.
It's
That your
it's
mom's be able to.
it's great
Don't
that your
worry,
mom's
listeners.
there.
She'll join soon. We're gonna have
She'll come
Rosemary
on
on.
and give her 2 cents.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hey, reality is living with a mom, though, right, Jessica?
That's
That's
what yeah, living
where it
with the
are.
mom.
Don't let me come back to that chair.
Yeah. Yeah, go back to the chair. I
Right.
mean, just even that we're recording and your mom is in the background. When COVID was going on and the whole world moved to Zoom and moved to just online, platforms, my parents were at my house one day and I was recording a lecture. Like my students were actually on and I was teaching and I said, I am on a Zoom.
Yeah.
Please do not come, downstairs because I'm on camera. What does she do? She comes downstairs. Now, you have the Hollywood Squares was on my laptop. All the students are on there. I've got my lecture pulled up and she's looking at it like everybody can see her.
Yeah.
And she's just going, are you teaching a class right now? are you online? I'm like, I am online. You might as well wave because
Yeah.
25 of my students now are able to see you. So she goes, oh, I was going to ask you when you were going to be done. Like,
When I come upstairs
when
and
I'm done.
done, when I'm done, when I tell you I'm
When
done and don't
when
bother.
I'm
When the
done.
off the air sign was on my door.
Recording, right? The recording neon sign, like you flip on the
Recording
recording
me up
sign.
when I flip it to from recording
Yeah.
to off the air, that
Yeah.
should be the signal.
Yeah. That's the signal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
Laura, what are some of, well, you're a mom, right? So do you
Yes.
ever find yourself
Oh,
utilizing
I hear my
phrases?
mother's voice coming out of me all the time, and I just cringe because as I age, I feel like I'm sounding more like her, and I feel like my mannerisms are a little bit more like her. So, um, when that happens, I stop in my tracks, and I'll even tell my kids, "Oh my gosh, I sound just like Nana," and they'll be like, you sound just like her," and then I
Yeah.
cringe. And my mom, like, I don't know what it is with our sinuses, or we have like postnasal drip in our family or whatever. So mom chokes every day.
Yep.
So do I. I think ever since I turned 40, I choke every single day. So my children laugh hysterically at me because I'll be mid-sentence and start choking. And just like, mom does for me. Um, but every once in a while, as far as catchphrases, I will find myself saying to my daughters, "Are you sure you want to wear that?" Or, that might not be. And I've kind of rephrased it a little bit, like structured it a little bit differently. Like, to start off by saying, I kind of like the vibe that you're going for, but where you're headed, this might not be the proper outfit choice. Like maybe a different color, or maybe put on some leggings, or, something like that, instead of just saying, I don't like your outfit
Or you look terrible.
or you look terrible.
Or where did you get that? I certainly didn't buy that for you.
That's
Where'd you
exact.
get that? Or
Where did you
yeah.
get? I did not buy that for you. I'm like, I know.
Mm-hmm.
I actually allowed
I'm
myself to go to the mall myself, right?
I'm a fully functioning adult.
Right.
I've got an ARP card.
Right.
I go to the mall myself.
I got an ARP card.
Uh, I so I and my mom's health sometimes, and so some like the choking on air is one of them, but so I have acquired her vertigo, and
Oh
sometimes
no.
like her like her anxiety heart palpitations. And so, because I called you on that, Laura, remember,
Yeah.
for the, again, our listeners, my sister's a nurse and a very good one. And so I call her for medical advice at all. And I was sitting at work one day and my heart felt like my heart was just going to come out of my chest. And I called my sister and I said, I called Laura, I said, I feel like my heart's pounding, like my mom would say, my heart's pounding in my ears. I said, my heart's pounding in my ears. And she goes, what did you say? I said, my heart's pounding in my ears and I feel like this. And she goes, oh, Dominic, you're becoming mom. It's like, okay, but is there something wrong with me? Do I need to go to the hospital? She's like, well, you can go to the emergent care and get an EKG. They'll, figure and take your blood pressure and figure it out. Of course, nothing was wrong. And then I had to go back to my sister and say, nothing's wrong. She's like, you're turning into mom.
Turning into mom.
And then when I talked about my vertigo when we were in Paris, pardon me, not wanting to go up on the Eiffel Tower because of my vertigo. And I don't think you heard, I think that's the first time my sister heard that I have vertigo. And my mom is notorious for talking about her vertigo ever since we were kids. My vertigo this, my vertigo that. Oh, I can't do that. It's not vertigo, it's vertigo. She always calls it vertigo. Sorry. It's not almonds, it's almonds. Almonds.
Oh
So
my
she
gosh.
almonds and vertigo. You
Hmm.
know, vertigo. I'm like, yeah, you're vertigo.
The
And
first
so
time you saw the Hitchcock movie, did you think it was about your mom?
Oh my gosh. Yes.
I was an adult when I saw that movie the first time, but anyway, so I said to Laura, I said, I couldn't go up on the Eiffel Tower because I couldn't look up and I couldn't see, blah, blah, my vertigo. And she's like, oh God, you're turning into mom.
Yeah.
You are absolutely turning into mom. So like when it comes to health stuff, like I feel like I'm getting mom's, inheriting her ailments, which isn't super fun. And for those out there listening who have vertigo, my heart, my heart's with you as well as
Oh,
my mom's.
try to stay upright.
I just want to add for those listening, our mothers are not sisters. They are not blood
Right.
related. So we're cousins. Like the interesting thing is the catchphrases that we can all laugh and nod in agreement with. It's not because our mothers are sisters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right.
They're in the same, Italian family. Like we're not too far separated from each other. So
Right.
the apple isn't too far from the tree here,
S-
even though our moms aren't related
Mm-hmm.
by
But
blood.
they have what I love about moms is that everybody, at least that I talk to about my mom, or if they're talking about their mom, there's some similarity there, depending on their age. Our moms aren't very far apart in age. Um, I'm going to be gaining a mother-in-law in June, and she's only a year younger than my own mother, and there's so many similarities there. So I can commiserate with my future in-laws about their mom because she reminds me so much of my own mom. And then even when I talk to my coworkers or friends who have moms our age, just the things that they talk about, I feel like there's so many things in common that you can laugh and joke about with your mom.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so we're thinking that it's really generationally, like
Probably.
universal
Oh, I
because
think
of how we were like the time in which we were raised and
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, like, even if I look at my cousins who have kids, with the things that they're saying to their kids now, I think it would be vastly different than how our moms were talking to us, about anything, dating, going to school, you know, your interest, your friend group, all that kind of stuff. I think I think that they're more in tune with their kids, as far as what they want or what they don't want. Still making sure that they're the authority figure, and not my mom would always say, I'm not one of your little friends, but I'm not your friend."
Mhm.
She would say that over and over again. I'm not your friend. I'm not your friend.
Mm-hmm.
Which I mean,
It's
I
true.
right. It's true. It's true. And so, she made it very clear that she was the authority figure. That your friends aren't going to hold you accountable like I'm going to hold you accountable. They're not going to demand the same amount of respect or dignity that I'm going to demand. So
Mm-hmm.
there was a clear line there that you knew, clearly who was in charge by those catchphrases, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So that sent very clear messages. Also, like, you look like shit.
Yeah, in a nice way. In a in a nice way.
Right.
Or, my favorite is, are you wearing makeup? Did you did you put makeup on? If you didn't, do you have any with you? You probably should put some makeup on.
I never
I
That's
get a
thought
lot.
that.
I don't know when you started wearing that nude lipstick, but I think you look much better with a bolder red lip. Well, her signature look is a red lip, right? So it's like,
Jessica Rabbit.
hey,
yeah,
Um,
Jessica Rabbit.
whose mom said, I can't remember when we were talking about, in developing the episodes, whose mom said, don't leave the house without lipstick.
both of ours, I
Rosie,
think.
Got it.
Rosie, no, that was
Yeah.
your mom, Jess, because my mother said, don't ever leave the house without earrings.
That's
Right.
If you
yeah,
don't leave the house without earrings, if you don't have earrings on, you don't look nice. So you always have to wear earrings. And
got it.
it stuck with me because if I don't wear earrings, I feel weird. And I always have to have a pair of earrings on when I leave the house.
When did mom tell you that?
Well, mom got my ears pierced when I was about to turn 8. She wanted me to have pierced ears for my first communion. So, and be,
Yep.
being the only daughter in an Italian family, my dad wasn't for it. My dad would have waited until I was 30 to get my ears pierced. Dad didn't even like when I wore red nail polish. He was like, "What do you got on your nails?" So
I your first
she because
All right. Yeah.
she
Okay.
wanted
Yeah.
me to look nice. That's the whole thing, Dom. She
Yeah.
wanted me to look nice for the first communion. She bought me gold earrings. So actually,
Sorry.
Here in Western Springs, where I live, there was a jewelry store, and it was owned by Japanese people, the Oguras. It was called Ogura Jewelry. I will never forget. Little Mrs.
Oh my
Ogura
God,
sat me
Laura.
down with her ear piercing gun. My mom was like, "Don't worry, it's not going to hurt." She picked out gold earrings for me,
Oh,
and bing,
sure.
bing, Mrs. Ogura pierced my ears. And then when I got home and got out of the car, she had to explain to Dad because it was a
I
spring
don't. I
day.
don't remember this
So
at all.
yeah, I mean, you were what,
I was six.
6?
If you were eight, I was
I
six.
was 8, about to turn 8. You were 6, 7.
I about this. Yeah,
Yeah. So
six.
you
No,
know,
six, 6.5, maybe.
yeah, so dad's working outside in the yard. Here we come in the Oldsmobile Cutlass. Remember that thing? It was like
Oh God.
massive. You'll never get a car like that.
Oh goodness.
So she pulls up, I get out of the car, and dad comes to say hi. He's like, "Oh, what were you guys doing? How was everything?" And he saw my ears because dad notices everything.
Yeah.
And she said, well, she just looked at dad and she said, "Well, I wanted her to wear earrings on her communion." And dad didn't say anything. He said, "Okay."
I don't have my ears pierced, but Jessica, do you have?
I did, and for the same exact reason as Laura.
Are you shitting me?
No, it was you're making your Holy Communion, and we have little pearl earrings for
What the
you.
hell?
And
That's
she
a
just,
thing?
I
yeah,
think it's a generational thing.
she wanted me to look nice, and not before. I couldn't I couldn't get my ears pierced before communion. And then there was a rule on what kind of earrings. Laura, I don't know if you had that, but what kind of earrings I could wear up until a certain age. I can only wear little gold, like little gold starfish or little gold hearts or little pearl earrings up
Oh,
Yeah.
until I probably went off to college. Because I think like
Yeah.
because I remember then, going off to college and wanting the big, like,
Hoops.
hoops or big dangling turquoise, the chandelier. Like, I went to UW Madison, so I wanted like the beaded earrings. And I
Yeah.
remember coming back
Ugh.
with my hair in a ponytail and my like long beaded earrings from the street fair in Madison. And she was like, where did you get those? Like, I certainly didn't buy you those earrings. And now look what happens to you when you go away to college and you're left to your own devices,
right, right.
right? Like,
You buy clothes for yourself that I would never buy
I
for
would
you.
never buy for you.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Wow.
but it was
First
community.
communion.
It was
First
first.
That is
communion.
interesting. I'd be interested if any of our listeners want to make a comment on our video, like if that was a thing in your family.
Comment.
Comment, please, about
Mm-hmm.
getting. Yeah, that's so bizarre. Jessica, I had no idea. I don't think I'm not even sure that's an Italian thing.
No, I don't.
Your friends? Did any
I
of you
don't
in your
know. Well,
friend group, do you remember like that was
some of my friends had their ears pierced before I did.
Right.
And
really okay?
they had their ears pierced early. Now, with my own children, I was like, I'm getting it done early before they can really go through the trauma of sitting down and have a Japanese lady pierce your ears with her piercing gun in a jewelry store. Um, so Isabella, I had her ears pierced when she was 2.
Yeah,
I went and, did it at Claire's, my fine shining moment as a mom. But I did it when she turned 2. I gave her a sucker. We held her down, 2 things at once.
great job.
And
So
then I
that's
know
that's
my
not
shining
traumatic
moment.
at all.
What was that?
That was the much better version to prevent
Oh,
trauma.
but yeah, she
Putting
didn't even
your
remember.
down.
She,
I would have rather had you so Shigura. I gave
right.
her a sucker and I pinned you down.
Yeah. Yeah. And then when Genevieve was 6 months old, as soon as she was old enough, which is 6 months old, they did it at the pediatrician's office. The pediatrician pierced her ears.
What?
Yeah.
Pediatricians can pierce a kid's ears?
Yeah. And my pediatrician did.
Are you
In
kidding
case you
me?
can get your piercings at a pediatrician.
No, I'm not kidding. The pediatrician pierced Genevieve's ears. They had the little kit and she
Holy
pierced them in the
shit.
office.
That is
What about nail polish? Like I had to just like I couldn't and I think going back to my dad and our, our fathers are cousins, right? I could not, and my mother was in a complete agreement. I think it might have been her rule. No colored nail polish at all as a young girl. So if I think I was maybe about 10 or it might have been 12. It was like a grade school dance. And I was allowed to put a sheer coat of pink nail polish,
Oh,
but no, because then what the tagline and the catchphrase was yuck. And then it chips, and you aren't going to be taking care of your nails, and it's going to look disgusting, and it's going to look like you were raised in a basement.
because you never want anybody, you never wanted your appearance to portray the fact that your home life is anything but
Right.
Pristine.
absolute perfection, pristine,
Right.
clean, and
Mm-hmm.
perfection.
Right. So,
That
Absolute.
1000%.
Absolute. Well, going to Catholic school, we weren't allowed to wear nail polish. You could only wear clear nail polish on your
Really?
nails. Yeah, in grammar school, you couldn't have painted
You
nails.
can? Okay.
Yeah, so you could only have nail polish that was like clear. So I always had clear nail polish on. But when I was in high school, then I started putting different colored nail polish, like I put brown or orange or red or and it wasn't so much
Pretty
it's
wild.
it's kind of flip-flopped in I would say in our household just because my mom was all for me painting my nails. It was more my dad because my
Let's say
dad
dad didn't want
felt
to wear makeup.
dad didn't want me wearing makeup. Dad
Right.
didn't want me obviously piercing my ears. He didn't want me to wear nail polish because when I wore nail polish then that to my father meant I was attracting boys. And God forbid you know, I had permed hair and big, ugly rimmed glasses when I was a teenager. So, and braces. So there was absolutely zero chance that boys were talking to me.
Yeah.
They made sure. So why not
Yeah.
paint my nails?
Whew. I know
yeah,
you had a rough go at
that
work.
was the
I mean,
trifecta.
it was the 80s. It was the 80s and the early 90s. Everybody had big hair. And, but I was, yeah.
The
Yeah.
other mom catchphrase uh, is with hair, right? And
Mhm.
look at my senior year high school picture. I have the same hairdo. Like if you go back and look at me
Really?
while I'm on teeny
Oh,
Catholic high school yearbook picture, I have the exact same hair because the catchphrase was your hair should always be a classic style. People should look at your picture from when you were 18 to when you were 50, and you should have the same classic look.
No, you
really?
shouldn't.
Rosie said that?
But meanwhile, Rosie, if you look through the ages, in the 70s, Rosie had the gypsy shag.
Okay.
She looks back at that picture and is like, ugh, why did I do that? She had the 60s twiggy, like asymmetrical bob.
Okay.
She had the Mamie Eisenhower fringe banglets
Oh
in the
my
late 50s. But when it came to me, it was like, no, you should have classic. Oh, and no perms and no hair coloring until it's absolutely necessary. So no experimental phases with,
Right. Laura did an experimental phase. She got your hair. It was when you went to before Grace Marie's wedding. You got your you did your hair in I forgot the name of this the style. So
Oh, I cut my hair.
no, no, you got oh
No,
Lord, where did you go?
before Grace's wedding, I cut my hair. I had very long hair and I
I
cut
know
it really short.
cut your hair really short, but then you went on a trip somewhere, I think somewhere tropical, and you got your hair like the tight braids. You came back.
Oh, that's when I was in college. I had a friend do it. I had a friend
Okay.
do braids for me. Oh,
Yeah.
mom hated it.
Yeah. So we'd come
She
home.
absolutely hated it.
I have the same, I've had the same haircut as well. Like my head is pretty big. And so there's only so much I can do with my hair. And plus I'm losing it. So like there's only so much that actually looks good with my hair. But every now and then when I was in New York, I would shave it off.
Mm-hmm.
And then mom would always, I'd come home and she'd start crying. What did you do to your hair?
Mm-hmm.
Not what did you do to your hair? That was the catchphrase. So,
Actually, that is a catchphrase. My mom actually used it to at a guy at Trader Joe's. So the Trader
oh,
Joe's near our
great.
house. Skipton, if you're listening, he was just a wonderfully nice man that worked at Trader Joe's and had this beautiful curly hair.
Yeah.
And he was very nice to mom, help her with the groceries, and then one day we were at Trader Joe's and it was all shorn. And mom said to him, "Oh, Skipton, what did you do to your hair? You used to look like the statue of David. Now what happened to you?" And I didn't know what to say because yeah, we saw Skipton every week, but I
No,
did not think there was that level of familiarity that would have permitted her to say to
that's
him,
right.
"What did you do to your hair?"
That's
And
right.
to his credit, he was so gracious. He was like, "You know what? That's exactly what my mom said." So that was the catchphrase of, "What did you do to your hair?"
So, listeners, if you have a hair comment that is in alignment with Skipton's mom and our moms, of what did you do to your hair? We'd love to hear your
We'd
stories. So
love,
please
yeah,
comment and please
love
share.
to hear.
We'd love to
Yes.
hear that.
There's probably so many stories out there, especially through the years, if anybody's our age and grew up
Yeah.
in the 80s, 70s, 80s, 90s,
90s.
went through all those hair changes.
Mom's
Now,
pretty, I'm sorry, go ahead, Laura.
no, now like in my household with two girls, there's so many hair care products. There's so many, I mean, there's just so much. I don't even know what half the stuff is,
Yeah, I can imagine.
because we all had the bowl haircut when we were little.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, my mother cut our hair. We all had the same haircut while we were,
Right.
I don't know, when we were, I don't know how old we were, but we all had the bowl.
Yep.
You just use the same bowl.
Yep. Lined us up. One, two, three. We had the
Hmm.
same.
Or it was either a John John or a Dorothy Hamill,
That's
depending
correct.
upon.
Yes.
It was mom's version of the Floby. Like
The
we all
fl-
had the same, you know, we all had the same haircut. Um,
Mhm.
so
Um,
in regards to decor, so my mom in another life was an interior designer, for those of you who don't know.
Mhm.
She has always claimed that she knows interior design. Never took a class, never read a book. Um, she spent a lot of time in Oak Brook Mall getting inspiration from stores. Um, just a lot of time walking around stores and like, I like that. I don't like that. I have that in my house. I don't have that in my house. That's not what I would have in my house. But so she would always, she had this thing in her brain that, and perhaps in another life, she was an interior decorator. So when going to other people's homes, she wouldn't make comments, but I mean, making comments in several comments in my sister's home about her kitchen not making sense, and then coming to my house and saying, see, this is how I keep my kitchen. Dominic's kitchen makes sense because this is how I keep my kitchen. Your sister doesn't keep her kitchen this way. Your sister's kitchen doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. So I don't know. She won't comment too much on the overall decor versus how it flows and makes sense, or like the style. Where you're going to sit, where you're going to put a table, where you're going to eat. So if
Mhm.
things don't align that way, I don't know, Laura, if that makes, but the catchphrase is it's always, this doesn't make sense, and that's not how I have my house. That's not
Right.
how, that's not
That's
how
not how I do it.
that's not how I do it.
Hmm. Well, when mom would babysit and I was, when the kids were a little bit smaller and I was working, and then they started to get a little bit older and they would start telling me, Mom, Nana rearranged the cabinets.
Yeah.
And while she was doing so, she was always saying, your mother shouldn't put this here. Your mother doesn't know how to organize. Or, your mother's
Yeah.
kitchen makes no sense. There's no rhyme or reason to this kitchen. I can't find anything. And then when I come
Yes.
home, I can't find anything because she moves everything around. Um, so yes, there is a lot of that. When I was rehabbing the house, I took mom with me to pick out countertops and, look at tile, knowing that thank the Lord, my contractor was very like cut and dry. Like you pick two things or four things, and we're going to narrow them down to two. And then from two, you're going to narrow it down to one. Like you're
Yeah,
not going to go in there and we're not going to spend an
right,
hour in the tile shop and,
right.
look around and have mom pull samples from everywhere.
That's right. That's right.
So, yeah. So when we were doing that, um, I would look at something and of course she would say, well, I don't know if I like that color. I don't know if that's going to look good in your house. And thankfully, my contractor would say, no, we're going with white and gray. It's this one or this one.
Right.
Yes,
Decisive action.
it's decisive action.
Decisive action. Well, don't
Hmm.
forget, I mean, don't forget about turning into mom. When we went to go pick out my floors when I was going to redo them,
Oh, yeah.
you invited yourself to Floor and Decor.
I
And
did.
she said, "Why are we here, Dominic?" I said, "Well, I'm redoing my floors." She says, "Oh, thank God." My sister, Laura, she goes, "Oh, thank God. Those floors are terrible." And that's what my mother said. And I was like, "Oh, Laura, do you have something to say
Didn't know my floors needed redoing.
about my home?"
Yeah.
Yes. She's like, "Well, I said, I didn't know that everybody hates my floors." And Laura said, "A lot of people don't like your floors." So that's a mom moment. That's a mom moment.
See, Laura, you're getting those mom moments by osmosis.
I
Yeah.
think I am because I spend a lot of time with her. So I think,
Yeah.
I think just by osmosis, yeah, you're right. I am getting those moments. Um,
That's also, we were told this for all our lives. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is
right.
ingrained. The language is also ingrained in us.
Well,
So,
even like you were saying, even the home decor and even picking things out, like even picking paint, when I'm picking paint to paint my house and I think something looks nice,
yeah.
and I'm looking at a swatch and saying, I think I want it to look either like this or this. And then mom says, well, if you paint it this color, then everybody in your house is going to be depressed. It's a depressing color. People are going to come over and they're going to be depressed. So check that one off. Not going with that one.
Oh, we don't want mom to come over and be depressed.
So everything's going to be hospital white. I don't know. Or
Right.
cream.
My
So that was my experience.
Mm.
my mother's catchphrase with me from shoes to home decor is, you're very boring. Like,
Really?
yes.
That's so
Oh,
bad.
you're very boring. And
What does she want you to do?
so here's the, I think this sums it up perfectly. When I had started working and I wanted a pair of shoes that I could wear with different suits, but were still comfortable, I had gone to the store where she worked, right? And one of her friends worked in the shoe department. And so I picked out a pair of pumps and they were nice and practical and classic pumps. And so you hear in the background, no, they were boring. And so her friend who worked in the shoe department, he looked at me and he went like, and I said, Dennis, what? And he was like, your mom for herself and for you picked those. And they were a leopard, very tasteful, beautiful.
Okay, okay.
Okay,
Going. I was like,
very tasteful. You hear her in the background going, Ferragamo, they'll last forever. Leopard, but leopard pump. Leopard pump. And so her philosophy was they will go with blue, navy, taupe, black, red, and they have a personality. Unlike that boring crap that you picked. And that's the same principle that she comes in my house, right? Like I
so,
don't, for listeners that love it, that's your taste, right? Whatever.
yeah,
But for me
yeah,
personally, I don't like statement anything.
yeah,
But my mother loves a statement something, whether it's a statement piece of furniture or a statement colored wall.
yeah.
She says, I want something to make a statement.
But I
Your
think,
house doesn't
yeah,
make a statement. And I was like, because I want my house to be comfortable
right. You don't want it to
and
be
I want to
glaring.
relax and be
Hmm.
peaceful. Like I get statements every day from students at the office. Like
Right.
I
That's
don't
right.
want my house to make a statement.
Hmm.
I've been around you for so many. I mean, your dress is always very, it's very classy.
Mm-hmm.
It's very chic in my opinion. Like
Mm-hmm.
I think what
Those
you
were the
wore
pieces she
to
picked.
did she pick your outfit to my sister's engagement party? That was a beautiful outfit that you wore that
Yeah, that
night.
was a very nice outfit.
It was a cream colored, I think you had, was it a cream colored turtleneck or sweater with a skirt? Um, it was beautiful.
Thank
Whatever
you.
you wore, it
And
was,
if it was monochromatic dressing. If it was cream, beige, navy, gray, that was
yeah.
me.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, but that's very classic and chic too. It's very New York.
Thank
It's very simple.
you.
Um,
Oh my God.
I didn't hear what she said.
a lot of a lot of background noise. It's okay.
That is so funny.
It's okay. Well, I think we have we have lots of other catchphrases we can go go down the rabbit hole with, but I think next week we're talking about what's our episode next week?
Next week, we are talking about traveling with mom.
Oh,
So bring all of your favorite travel stories for
yeah.
any time you took a trip with your mom.
You
We
want
are
to tune into
going to
this one?
be,
I just came home from Paris with my mom last
yes.
month.
And
So,
actually, our mother is scheduled to be the guest on next week episode.
oh, that's right. Okay.
Yes. So we are going to be talking about her version of events in Paris versus
Yep.
your version of
That's
events.
exactly right.
We
That's
can
exactly
even
right.
talk about trips that I've taken with mom and our version of events. Jessica, you
Yeah.
can talk about trips that you've taken with your mom and her version versus your version.
Yeah.
And I'm sure our listeners also have taken many trips with their own mothers. Either they've ended in
Or
tears
not. They
or
wanted to.
laughter or not, and they don't travel with their moms because they know what's coming. So they opt sanity
Yes.
for insanity.
Uh-huh.
Um, yeah. So that's what's coming next week.
Well, that'll be
Dominic, do
exciting.
you want to leave us with your Paris catchphrase with your mom, or do you want to save that little tasty bite for opening up the next episode? What
I'm gonna save that bite for opening up the next episode, but I think this was a fun week. It was always good to see you all.
you
And I'll
two?
leave us with our signature catchphrase from both of our
Yes.
mothers of "Don't embarrass us."
So thank you for listening
Thank
for
you for listening.
What Would Mom
For
Say?
what Mom say. We'll see you all next week.
All right.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.